You know, it's pretty refreshing to hear a deathcore band actually sing about something meaningful and not about how horrible women are. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Alex. This is Off the Cuff Reviews, and today we're going to be talking about Lorna Shore's fourth studio album, Pain Remains. And let's just say, it's pretty fucking good. But before we actually dive into Lorna Shore's new album, let's talk about my sponsor today. Today's sponsor is myself. As a lot of you know, my fiance Ashley and I have a podcast, but we also have a website where we post movie reviews, movie news, updates about our podcast, updates about us, all that kind of good stuff is over there. But we also have an online store, which you can also find on our website. But this online store has artwork currently that was made by my fiance, and I kind of helped a little bit, but most of it was done by my fiance, DIY style. She's painting all of these, and we are selling them on our website. We are going to be trying to push that. We have new merch ideas coming. You guys should definitely stick around for that. We're coming up with the ideas for the merch right now, and we're going to be dropping it on that site, so definitely go check it out. The link is down below in the description. If you guys want to check out any of the artwork that we have listed so far, and maybe if you guys want to request anything customized or anything new that we haven't listed there, let us know, hit us in the DMs, and we'll be happy to answer. Now let's get back to the video. So Lorna Shore has been battling lineup changes pretty much since their inception. There's not a single original member left in the band, and that definitely has weighed heavily on their music, especially because up until last year when Will Ramos, their vocalist, joined the band, I was actually not really a fan of them. And there's a lot of reasons why, because back before Will was in the band, they were just any other deathcore, metalcore band to me. I like heavier music like that, but nothing was special about it to me. In fact, I didn't even think the vocals were special. I didn't like pretty much anything about them. Will Ramos joins the band, and they get this incredible vocal ability that has its own uniqueness, but also draws inspiration from other people within this genre, mainly people like Dickie Allen from Infant Annihilator. And you can really hear that sound come through in this album, Pain Remains. And that is easily the best part of this album, is the vocals, because Will Ramos is top tier, one of the best vocalists in this genre right now. I know he was in a band before Lorna Shore, before he joined Lorna Shore, but to be honest, I've heard them, didn't really like them either, because he wasn't really he wasn't really shining with his full ability as a vocalist. But here he definitely is. He's got the highs, he's got the lows, he's got the weird sounds, he can do things that other people can't. And listen, I mentioned a band called Infant Annihilator, and I said that Dickie Allen, the vocalist, was a huge inspiration for Will Ramos. And if you watch any interviews, you'll know that. Will Ramos has talked extensively about how he had come into his own sound, about how he came up with his unique sound by kind of taking elements and inspiration from Dickie Allen and putting it into his own voice and coming up with his sound that you hear on Pain Remains, and that is cool. One of the things that drew me away from Infant Annihilator is their lyrics. Now, yes, their first album was absolutely mind-blowing, especially because it came out 2012, 2013, and that was just like, boom, like head explosion, right? And then you hear this and you're like, okay, this is crazy too. But it's taking the elements from Infant Annihilator's vocals and their tremolo picking with the guitar, the fast guitar riffs and the fast drums and the fast blast beats and all of that whole package that you get with that band, which is more of a studio band. And you get it with these amazing musicians that are in Lorna Shore now that are actually going out touring, literally nailing every single one of these notes every night, just absolutely destroying it. These guys are the real deal. And their lyrics with this album are definitely more meaningful, and they're not just about how horrible women are. And I'm not trying to sound like some white knight out here. I'm just saying, let's be real, a lot of the lyrics of deathcore bands are pretty misogynist, which is why I never really wasn't, I was never really like a huge fan of this genre. But this album has pretty much changed my mind. When I heard Into the Earth, whoa, like absolutely mind-blowing vocals, an absolutely mind-blowing chorus. Like, this band is special, and they're at the top of their game. They are the like number one like streamed deathcore band. They have millions of active monthly listeners on Spotify. Like, that's what I'm talking about. That is unheard of for this genre. They have really like paved the way for more people to be more creative within this, in my opinion, pretty stale genre. And like I mentioned, Pain Remains has a lot of like meaningful and deeper lyrics. They talk about depression, they talk about mental health, they talk about a lot of things that bands in this genre like very lightly dive into, but these guys dive into it head first, dive deep in, and they give you this full package. This album actually has a trilogy of songs, Pain Remains 1, 2, and 3. Literally, Pain Remains, that trilogy is incredible. You see like a whole bunch of different emotions in each song. One of them is literally like a deathcore ballad from like the heavens above. Literally crazy. They have crazy guitar parts and crazy orchestral synths that are under in the mix, and you definitely hear them, but they're under like the guitars and under the drums and under the vocals. So it just adds like an atmosphere to the song that would be non-existent, and like if they didn't have that, obviously, but it would not feel as effective, like the emotion within these songs, if it didn't have like the orchestral section, and if Will's vocals weren't so like filled with emotion and range like this, you would pretty much just be like garbage. But these guys are super talented, and I definitely would recommend anybody to go check out this album. It's their fourth studio album. It's put out by Century Media Records. And listen, like I said, I was not a huge fan of Lorna Shore. In fact, I wasn't a huge fan until Will joined the band. I did not like their last vocalist, CJ. I didn't like the things he was doing. I didn't like the things that he was writing about. I didn't like the songs. I thought all of the songs were horrible. I just, that Lorna Shore was like one of those bands that I was just like, I need to stay away from this band, because like they just annoyed me. Like, they annoyed me that they were popular back in the day, because they really definitely were not as good as this. Listen to the old stuff and then listen to this, compare it side by side, and you tell me what is better, because on every single level, production wise, vocals wise, drum wise, guitar wise, everything, they're adding those orchestral elements. Everything came together so well to make this perfect cohesive album, and I definitely recommend it if anyone is into the heavier deathcore, death metal genre. Go check it out. It's definitely more deathcore than death metal, but definitely go check it out. There's a lot of breakdowns. There's a lot of open chord chugging, tremolo chugging. You guys would, if you guys are into like that fast stuff, go check it out. But there you have it. That was my review of Pain Remains, the fourth studio album from Lorna Shore. I am super excited to kind of see where this band goes and how they grow from here, because obviously this was a banger. This was a masterpiece of an album for this genre. These guys are going to have to top that on their next album with Will. I am glad that they got Will into the band, because he has an infectious personality that I feel like comes through in their music and draws more people in, and more people are listening to this band, which is crazy, which is really good for this genre, for these heavier genres. Let me know what you guys thought of this album down below. Let me know what you guys thought of my video down below. I'll see you guys on the flip side. Let's talk about Lorna Shore. Thanks for watching. Stay safe, everybody.